All right, we're live. Welcome back, everybody. I've got a cast strength banger flight on the bar tonight. Let's get into it. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Thanks for being patient with me. I was having some internet issues before coming on here, so hopefully that doesn't continue through the entire live stream here. I don't know what it is about my internet, but every single time I go live, I completely lose my upload speed. It just, my internet just shits the bed as soon as I attempt to go live. So it seems like every time I get started, like the first thing I see is there's a little emblem that pops up when you've got bad Wi-Fi. So I had to wire it, and then I still wasn't getting great connection. So let me know in the comments if this thing starts going off the rails. I usually can't tell unless I have a guest on. So in the chat, we've got Dave Renstrom. Cheers, Dave. What's happening? Peter White is here. Let's see. Jeff Castle, what's happening? All right. So as you can see, I do have some bottles here. So I have a flight that I want to go through at some point tonight. And then I'm just going to kind of base the rest off of whatever you guys put in the chat. That's what we're going to talk about. So, Jeremiah, what's happening? Welcome. I also will do a drawing tonight, a Patreon drawing at some point here. There's only a couple people left. There's 3 people left that haven't won yet. So we will we'll get on that. Let me see here. I think that I've got everybody in the chat here so far. Oh, real quick, also, I need to make a video public. I am posting a bonus video tonight, and I wanted to make it public right before I went live, but then my internet went wonky, so there we go. The bonus video is public now. And that's a video about my last live stream when I realized that I ruined that bottle of Old Grandad with the cork stuck in the bottle, for those of you that were here for that. So, yeah, that's... That's a whole thing, because I destroyed that bottle, $200 bottle with like this much left in it. And then before I realized like how I had destroyed it, I actually sent a sample out to Big Rick Energy from the DRC bar and also the Whiskey 6. And he had just sent me a sample pack of like William LaRue Weller and Double Eagle Very Rare, the E.H. Taylor B-Tac, a few more like crazy samples, and a bottle, and then I send him a completely ruined sample of Old Grandad 16 year. So, you know, and he actually that was a sample winner. And so I'm glad I sent it out to him, at least somebody who I know on a personal level, who I'm friends with, because I would have been really embarrassed to have sent that out. Torab Hodel is in the house. No doubt hodling at the moment and buying the dip. Dollar cost, average it. There you go. Get through these trying times. So, yeah. So anyway, I put out a video, was it my last video or 2 videos ago, where, actually, what was it? It was like top 10 videos. I don't even remember my own videos anymore. So it was like the top 10 video bottles for, Jesus, to elevate your bourbon drinking experience. Canadian Chris, what's happening? And so one of those that I put on there that I figured I might get a little kickback on was the Booker's. And I know Booker's has kind of gone up in price the last couple of years. I don't generally buy it at $100, but I see it on sale for $80 here and there. Or I can get it like a Sam's Club or a Costco. And at that price point, I really like it. And I was sipping on this the other night and really enjoying it. I kind of think that Booker's, I said in that video, it gets kind of a bad rap because it's only, like this one's 7 years, 2 months old. They kind of hang out in that like 6.5 to 8 year age range. And at the $100 price point that it is now in most places, I get why, you know, people kind of have turned their back on it. I mean, I kind of did too. I haven't owned a ton of bottles of it because I didn't really get into it until after the price went up here. But when the price goes down, I generally think it's a good bourbon. I think it drinks really quality. I know that it's batch products, so, you know, people like and dislike certain batches. But I remember the last time I had a pour of this, I really got like a nice, it came across as a well-aged bourbon, even though the age statement isn't particularly high. So I think it's just a really good example of like barrel selection and blending. And so anyway, it got me thinking. It's like, well, why not do a blind flight, put that in there, see how it does. These are all good bourbons. I bitch quite a bit about the Woodford Reserve just because of the price point on it. The whiskey's good, but the price point sucks. I'm a fan of Elijah Craig and Larceny Barrel Proof, so I figured, you know what, why not? Let's throw it in there. The highest aged one on here is going to be this Larceny Barrel Proof. This is a B523, 11 years and 5 months. And then, Larceny is, usually between like 6 and 8. I have no idea what the Woodford is. Woodford has recently made my shit list again, and I'm to the point that I'm considering just doing a whole video trashing Woodford. And excuse me. If you guys saw the short that I put out today, I want to hear you guys' opinion on this. We talked about this on the Whiskey 6 last week, but if you saw the short that I put out just today, actually, Woodford Reserve now has a double oaked barrel proof, and I'm putting that in quotes just in case you guys don't know. The Woodford Reserve double oak barrel proof is so Woodford Reserve double barrel, of course, or double oak, they take regular Woodford and then they put it in a secondary barrel and age it for a little while longer. But what they're doing is they're taking the original distillate after it ages, they're proofing that down to 100 and then putting that 100 proof down distillate or aged distillate into the second barrel. So it's coming out technically out of the second barrel at barrel proof, but the whiskey's already been proofed down to 100. And so, it's not like there's a difference between doing that and doing just like a low barrel entry proof, in my opinion. Like, it's already been aged, you're proofing it down. So then they put it into the secondary barrel, and most of these are coming out at like 94, 95 proof. And the regular ones, I think it's 90.4. So it's coming out as like, 4 or 5 proof points higher, and it's double the price. This one was, I think it was 110, and the regular Woodford double oak was 55. So, I mean, they're charging ridiculous prices, just like they do for this basic cast strength Woodford that for some odd reason they have to charge $130 for. I've never understood it, but let's see here. Is anybody chiming in on this stuff? I'm going to rely on you guys for topics tonight. So throw some questions out there, questions for the chat, questions for me. Ben is back, hanging AZ. Yeah, I haven't been live streaming too much lately. I probably should get back into the habit of doing it more often, but sometimes I just kind of like, I don't know, it's just me on here. I don't really know what to talk about. So, like I said, I need you guys to throw some topics out here tonight. And Dave, they cost close to $100. I saw that one today for 110 at Total, and not today, I'm sorry, a little while ago, a couple days ago, at Total Wine in Chanhassen. So, and Total Wine tends to have decent prices, but I feel like on their store picks they get a little crazy on that. So let me grab my water here and get into this flight and get into whatever you guys want to talk about. South Lindale's pick they marked down to 85, and I'm still passing. Yeah, I mean, it's just bullshit from Woodford. I'm really getting to a point with Woodford, like, I like their general flavor profile, but it just seems like it's one gimmick after another. So, yeah, it's just weird. Minnesota distilleries, most have a similar funk to them. Jeremiah, I have kind of noticed that too. I haven't had the greatest luck with Minnesota distilleries. I don't know if it's just the climate, because if they're aging outdoors in Minnesota in the extreme cold, that barrel's going to seize up a bit, and it's not going to let the wood wood penetrate it quite as much as it normally would. Huh? And so I wonder if it just, you take a 5-year age-stated bourbon in Minnesota, and it's really only getting what in a warmer climate would maybe, be closer to like a 3 years worth of aging. So, you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of losing out on that. Now, some distilleries might have indoor heat cycled warehouses. I don't know. But yeah, I've noticed that too. The other thing that I kind of wonder that I've talked to people about is, if they're using local Minnesota grains, that might be the kind of corn that they're using from Minnesota. But, I can't confirm nor deny. Let's see. Canadian Chris, I have 3 bottles of bourbon left. Booker's, Charlie's Batch, New Riff, Silver Grove, and Blanton's. I need Ontario to put American alcohol back on the shelves. Damn, that is so. You've said before, Chris, you can't find any American whiskey up there at this point. Also, what is New Riff Silver Grove? I've recently become a New Riff fanboy, so I'd like to know what that is. Myron is here. What's happening, Myron? What up, Ben? At the Bourbon Note, and everyone in the chat just got in from work and wanted to sport for a few. Nice. Well, thank you for being here, Myron. Keep that view count up if we can. Peter White, there's always Alberta. Yeah, Peter White's in Canada. Get yourself some of the Little Round Still. They're putting out some great stuff, climate-controlled Rickhouse. So, interestingly enough, I had somebody else say that too. I think you might have actually told me that recently, aside from this comment, but I heard that from somebody else as well. And the only stuff... I almost bought a bottle, and now I can't remember what it was, but there was... I usually only see just like the basic Little Round Still. I think it's called Boathouse Bourbon. And it's not very expensive, so I definitely will pick up a bottle of that, especially if they've got climate-controlled warehouse. But they had one, and the next time I'm in that town, I'll stop into the liquor store. I've never seen it before. It was some sort of like a different edition. I don't even know what it was, but it was something weird. I think it was extra age, and it had something weird about it that was kind of intriguing. But I have been meaning to give that one a shot. I think that one's out of like Wadena or something like that. So, yeah. I could get it shipped from Alberta. Yeah, Silver Grove is barrel strength bourbon from New... Oh, my God. Okay, hold on. I got to look this up because I've never seen or heard of that one. And I have a video that's going to be coming out, not tomorrow, but I did film it. And it's distilleries that I'm looking forward to getting into in 2026. And New Riff is one of them. If you guys watch the channel, you've seen lately I've been doing some New Riff products and really been into them. But I would be super into... a New Riff barrel proof. Let's see. Let me look this up real quick and just screenshot it so I don't forget. Silver Grove. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get a hold of some of this. However, so this just distilled and bottled by New Riff Distilling. Interesting. It's got a completely different label on it. I wonder if that's like a Not in America release or something. If anybody's got information on that, let me know. Because I am definitely interested. Also, let me know if the music's too loud. It's not too much higher than their Bottle and Bond 55, but hey, sometimes that 10 points can make a difference. Let's see, I'm going in for a KC 9-year pour in a few. Can't beat it for $29. So, Hangin' AZ, this is an interesting... It's interesting you brought this up. I bought a KC9 like a month ago just to use as just like a weekend sipper. You know, one of those ones if you want to sit and have a couple of drinks and play some cards or whatever. You know, nothing expensive, nothing too high proof, but it's still good. And so I noticed, at least the bottle that I got, I felt like it lost a step. And I talked to Brian from Bourbon School, and I can't remember if we talked about this on the Whiskey 6 or if it was just... last time I did a live stream, I think he and Sean hopped on here, and he had said he kind of noticed that too. So Sugar Kitty is in the house. Having my favorite daily sipper, Trails End 10, 105. Let's see, 105 proof. I haven't had that. Let's see. It was Wadena, opening soon in Alexandria. Their rye is aged in Andean oak. Their barrel selects are all one-off crazy stuff. Okay, so they're opening one up as Alexandria is a little closer to me than Wadena is. Not that either one of them are particularly close, but anyway, I'm going to get into my first sip of whiskey here for the night. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for being here. Biked 12 miles and got a tan today. That must be nice to get a tan. It's been terrible. It's finally warming up into the 30s here, and everybody's super excited. Wolfie, what's happening? We had just so many days of 0 and below. Andrew's Allocations, MN. Go check him out. He's doing shorts and bourbon hunting videos. Go check him out. Go check out Bourbon Drop while you're at it as well. That first one was the first sip of whiskey for the day, so it was a little tart. Let's get to the second one here. All right. You can get a tan here from the snow blindness. Yeah. That's about it. I'm just going to rifle through the first sips of these really quick. I have a friend who's going to be up in the St. Cloud area, Ben, this month, and told him to stop at Spirits in Melrose. Hell yes. You've been up there, haven't you, Dave? That is so worth the trip. All of these kind of have a little bitterness to them tonight. I wonder, this is probably just me. All right. Ooh. I like all these, but I like that fourth one. Super windy. Let's see. Not yet. Looked at it. Maybe just shy of a 2-hour drive. Oh, yeah, you're down in like Apple Valley, aren't you, Dave? I think like South Metro. That is a haul. Let's see. Found 2 Michter's barrel-proof ryes on the shelf today. Made a short. They may still be there. Nice. Some of those stores in Minnesota you post have me drooling. Yeah, I mean, you know, when I first got into the bourbon game and when Greg and I first started the channel, we had this ongoing theme on the channel to the point that we made T-shirts that said not available in Minnesota because it seemed like at the time there were so many bourbons we were hearing about that you just can't get here. And I think Minnesota's definitely gotten better distribution now. But I have realized that we do have a lot of good stores here in Minnesota. We do have a pretty good selection. And the Costco and Sam's Club selections are particularly good. They don't always have a ton of stuff, but what they have you can get at just monster discounts. And one of the cool things is one of the few liquor laws that we have in Minnesota that actually benefits the consumer is that you don't need a membership to shop at the liquor store at Costco or Sam's Club. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. 120 miles away, maybe this summer I'll go hiking up that way and make a trip out of it. Yes, you definitely should because it's worth it. It is absolutely my favorite liquor store. Yeah, Andrew, the one down in Burnsville has got some good stuff right now, and Chaska's got some good stuff. Those are the only 2 I've been to recently. But Andrew, if you don't mind saying, I mean, you don't have to say if you don't want to put like what town you're in, but what part of Minnesota you're in. I need more Michter's in my life. Only tried the U.S. one. Michter's is good, but Michter's rye, barrel-proof rye, is really good, but it's one of those bourbons that's really good that I probably wouldn't buy again. And actually, I filmed a video yesterday of 5 bourbons that I have on my shelf that I won't buy again, but I like them, and that's actually one of them. Spoiler alert. Oh, you're in Maplewood. Okay, so you're like, you might as well be in a completely different state or country. I don't know what it's like for you guys over there on the East Metro, but for all of us over here on the West Metro, do you guys have that thing where you don't get over to the West Metro ever? And so, like, when you do come here, it's just like, what city is this? I don't even know. You know, like, I'm familiar with all the suburbs over here, but I almost never get over to the East Metro. And so, yeah, when I do, it's just like visiting a whole new place just because I'm so unfamiliar with the... I mean, I know the general layout, but I don't know where anything is. I'm not familiar with what each town has and all that good stuff. I did score an Eagle Rare at the Sam's Club in Maplewood for like $23 a couple of years ago, so that was pretty awesome. Let's see. I like both the rye and American. For Michter's, you just need to get it at the right price. Yeah, the Michter's American, I've always heard good things about that, and I've always been meaning to try it, but it's like 83 proof and it's like $40 and it's just like, ugh. That was a half-ass Costco video without the BAM. I know, you know what, hang on, sometimes I do the BAM and sometimes I don't. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to reinstitute. I still do the BAM in all my reviews, but you know, I realize that might annoy some people in the shorts. Not that I really give a shit, but Sometimes I just forget to do it in the shorts. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll have to try to remember every time I do a short. Let's see. I also go to the Coon Rapids Costco. I want to check out the St. Louis Park Costco this weekend. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I forgot to shut my ringer off. The St. Louis Park Costco, the Coon Rapids Costco is it's decent. That one's hit or miss for me. The St. Louis Park Costco is particularly good for bourbon, but just getting in and out of there it's a disaster. So just be prepared for. There's never any parking. The parking lot is not big enough to service that store, and there's like a Home Depot right next to it, and so like the parking there sucks. Yeah, David says good luck with the St. Louis Park Costco. I think that's known in the West Metro that is just like, pardon my French, but it's a clusterfuck of biblical proportions. Yeah, the St. Louis Park or the Coon Rapids Costco is hit or miss. Like they don't really have a big selection. They used to have a better one, and then they kind of redid the liquor store part. But every once in a while, they'll just have like one good bottle. But the St. Louis Park Costco is really good. But right next to St. Louis Park Costco is the Liquor Boy, and if you've never been there, that is definitely worth your time. When you go in the store, there's a glass case off to the right. Don't forget to look in there. But they've got a really big bourbon selection. They've got really good prices. And then there's also a Haskell's west on 494, kind of closer to Ridgedale, but on the north side of the freeway. So anyway, for those of you that don't live in Minnesota, Sugar Kitty, hold on. Sugar Kitty disparaging my pelvic thrust? Let's see. Where was it? It's not as annoying as the pelvic fireball. People wait with bated breath for my pelvic thrusting fireball. I stand by that. The bourbon selection is not great at my local, but the Irish is pretty good. Okay. Hey, Hangin', where in AZ do you live? Are you in like a major city or? I've only been bourbon shopping one time in Arizona. That is my brand. Thank you. And it's actually where I got these things. These are unopened, never opened, tack strip, still intact. Ezra Brooks decanters from like the 1960s. I got two of them. That one and this one in a little town called Fredonia, which is right smack dab on the Arizona-Utah border, right by Kanab, Utah. Sorry, not a fan. Shake my head. Well, I'm sorry, Sugar Kitty, but the pelvic thrust is here to stay. You know, I'm nothing if not consistent. Yes, Mudman. That's what the guy at the store told me. Because I asked him, I was like, well, what's the, I figured he might know. It might be like a local thing and like a traditional thing or something. And he's like, well, that's a Mudman. And I, for a second there, I was like, what the hell does that mean? And he's like, yeah. And then he kind of told me about the Kachina thing. The bourbon section is not great. Oh, but yeah, okay, I already read that one. Oh, you're in Phoenix, okay. Love a good old decanter. Yeah, I think they're cool. I'm hesitant to open them up because you never know what you're going to get. It's either the best or worst whiskey ever. Beans Hildebrandt. Hello. Well, welcome. Welcome to the chant. Minnesota also comes with a sales tax near 11%. Yeah, and don't forget that, the local city that you're in charges their own taxes too, so that can really hit you. You ever go to Maple Grove Costco? Yes, I do. I typically go to the Sam's Club a little more, and Sam's Club doesn't have as much of a selection, but but usually when I'm going to Maple Grove, because I'm in Buffalo, so I'm on the west side of Maple Grove, so I just sneak in, hit the Sam's Club, and get out of there. But whenever I get over there, if I'm going to go to Total Wine, I usually go a little further down the road and hit up the Maple Grove Costco too. That one has kind of fallen off for me a little bit, to be honest. I just subbed. Well, hey, thank you. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate the subscription. Welcome to the live chat. Sugar Kitty says, I have a collection of Kachina because I started back in the early 70s in the Four Corners area. Okay, so that's the area for it. Vermont Niska. Yeah, I was going to say, he says, try the Washington State 20% sin tax. I was going to bring that up, and I only know about that because of Troy and Laura over at Baker Drinks were telling me about that. They've talked about that on their shows before. I'm Andrew's allocation's wife. Oh, okay. There you go. Well, I'm glad I've got both of you on board here. That's awesome. Thank you for the sub. Go away, Beans. Are you guys sitting like in the same room in different chairs? You know how like sometimes you'll sit and like you'll be on Instagram and something funny will come up. Like I'll send it to my wife who's sitting right there, you know, for her to enjoy later when I'm not around, you know. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So Troy and Laura were saying that they have a 20% sales tax out in Washington, but it's interesting because Washington doesn't have an income tax, and Troy and Laura live right down on the, not right down on, but pretty close to the Washington and Oregon border. And so Washington has no income tax, but they have a high sales tax. Oregon has an income tax, to the best of my knowledge, but no sales tax. So they live in a state where they don't have an income tax, but they can go and shop in a state where there's no sales tax. And ever since I learned about that, I've been kind of planning on modeling my retirement after that. Let's see. Yeah, sitting right next to each other. That's awesome. Love it. I have mostly Hopi, and one is a Mudman, so I've seen that before. Okay. I don't remember what this one's called. Brian actually gave me some information on these. He's a history teacher, so he knew what these were right away. But yeah, these things are really cool. But I don't know if these were made like like before they weren't allowed to put lead in the decanters. So I think I would have to like have this tested or something. This is from 1976. Again, these are never opened. The tax strip is still intact. And this one is from 1978. Okay, I said 60s. It was 70s. That was a nerve-wracking flight home because I had those wrapped up in my luggage, and I thought for sure they were going to break open. But I only paid, I think I paid like $70 for each of them. And I was kind of like mulling it over as like, because I don't know if I'm ever actually going to open them. Like I intended to, but the whole thing about the lead and the, you know, whatever. So I don't know, I'm kind of hesitant. But I was kind of waffling on whether or not I was going to buy them. And then my wife was like, you're going to regret it if you don't buy them. Just buy them. I was like, all right, I'm going to go with my wife's wisdom here. Let's see. Can't shop local in South Phoenix stores. Iranian mafia owns all the liquor stores. Interesting. 11% is rough shopping bourbons here. Yeah, it is. I bought a 114 proof bottle, and it came out to like 126. So, I mean, I guess I was just under 11, but Cloud Kachina, your guess is as good as mine. Bruzel went to a local museum in my area called Paradise Liquors. Okay, he went to some shops in Minnesota here too. Went to a couple of good ones actually. They're not lead-free until the 80s. Damn it. Okay, I thought Sugar Kitty might be able to throw some wisdom in there on that. So now, I mean, will I ever actually drink those? I don't know. Because I mean, that's been sitting in there since the 70s. I mean, that stuff is from before I was born. I was born in 1979. So 48 years on the one and whatever the age was on the other one. What's up, Hatfield Barbecue? Taylor's in the house. Mike Myers in the house. We have a strong Minnesota contingent in the house tonight. Murray Hill Club, batch 4 ended up 223 after tax thanks to the 11%. That sucks. I got to tell you, I haven't been paying too close attention here. On this flight. I think this one on my right is the Woodford. It's giving me Brown-Forman vibes. I like it. 1010 Liquors, Bruzel hit up, and also Top Value in Fridley. There was one part of that video that made me absolutely cringe, Andrew. Excuse me. It was the part where he went to Ace Spirits. And Ace Spirits is a good store. They've actually got a YouTube channel now, and they're doing some really cool stuff with that. And the guy at Ace Spirits, for being such a whiskey-forward store, the guy didn't really seem to know much, but he recommended the J. Carver 7-year, which is, it's not great. I wanted to like it more than I did. I've had a couple things from them that I've liked, all right, some cask strength stuff, but the guy said that will compete with any whiskey on the market, any other comparable whiskey on the market. And I was right when he said that, I was like, oh, God, no. So Bruzel bought it and then actually opened it in that scene at 1010 Liquors and was like massively disappointed, which fair enough because, it's just not great. Recently got a bottle of Old Dragon Bones 21-year rye finish and PX sherry. Good God, where did you get that from? I've had some Old Dragon Bones from Storytime. Do you like Brother Justice FR3? So interestingly enough that you bring that up, I filmed a video. I mentioned this earlier. That's like the top 5 distilleries that I want to explore more in 2026 because I want to, like, I've gotten into like Green River a lot. I've gotten into New Riff a lot. Those are on the list in that video. And it's really like I've kind of had some whiskeys from different distilleries that I hadn't explored and really, really been impressed by them. And it's kind of given me motivation to kind of make it a point to go out of my way to try to get some expressions from those. I have never had anything from Brother Justice. And I say this in the video that it's kind of embarrassing because now Brother Justice is kind of blowing up because SLB Drinks did a whole thing where they did like this big flight of them talking about how great these whiskeys were. And then it made like number 4, I think, out of Fred Minnick's top 100. And here I am sitting in here in Minnesota with a channel and I've never even had one of their products. The reason for that, and I state this in the video, is that they're single malts. And I just am not, I haven't historically been enough of a fan of American single malts or single malts in general to justify the price point because Brother Justice tends to have higher price points. And so they hang out at that $100, like their cold peated is $100 and it's like 83 proof. It's like, do I want to spend $100 on an 83 proof single malt when I'm not the biggest fan of single malts? The Founder's Reserve is like 130. But I'm interested in that. They do have if you like Brother Justice, they have a store pick at the Lunds Byerly's in Chanhassen. Hopefully it's still there because I would like to get it, but it's only like $80, and it's a barrel proof store pick, and it's not like a store pick for Lunds and Byerly's in general. It's like that specific store location, so you can't go to a different one and get that same store pick. It's just to that particular Chanhassen location. So what I said in the video is that I just need to make a trip to the distillery and go to the tasting room and just try a handful of these. But I did say that I would like to kind of expand on the American single malt a little bit. And so, yeah, that's one that I did say in that video. I'm a little embarrassed that I've never had any of their products, but that's the reason for it. So I am super into the idea of trying it because, single malts are becoming more of a thing, and I think they're maybe doing a little more interesting stuff with them and releasing them at like cask strength, and so I'm a little more interested in it because of that now. I would also like to know, this is interesting, a lot of these have a bitter taste to them tonight for some reason. I don't know why. What do you guys think of Brother Justice? I'm assuming you've probably had it. Let me know if you go to Brother Justice. We go there often, meet you for a pour. For sure, dude. I would absolutely do that. Absolutely. It'll probably be a while. Are they in Northeast? Northeast? I can't remember where. I read where they were located, but that would probably be more of like a nice weather summertime thing. Maybe to just make a day of it and go do something fun around the Minneapolis area. They are in Northeast. Okay. My friend Emily and I used to go on pub crawls in Northeast back in the day. And yeah, that was, I haven't been to Northeast in a while. I've been to Macelach's for a roast beef sandwich and tater tots forever. I don't know how to rank these. I guess I just haven't been. You guys have been throwing out enough good topics to talk about. I thought for sure that I would have to do the flight just to fill in time here because, like I said, it's just me sitting here, so half the time I just don't know what to talk about. I'll think of a subject, and then I'll talk about it, and then I'll look at the time. It's like, okay, that added up 10 minutes. All right. Another one that I want to get into a little bit more is Keeper's Heart. I do have a couple of their cask strength. I've got a cask strength, the Irish and bourbon, and then the 110 proof bourbon and rye. So Keeper's Heart, for those of you that don't know, is like it's a distillery in Minnesota, and they blend source bourbon with, I think, their house single malt, and then some Irish whiskey as well. 45th Parallel is near you too. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of 45th Parallel. And so they just finally released their first ever like aged in-house single malt. And they actually sent me a message and invited me to they had like an event where they did like a tasting of it and stuff. But I wasn't able to make it, which I was super bummed out about, but I'd like to try some more of their stuff too. I've only had 2 American single malts, liked Stranahan's Sherry Cask and Balcones, which was just okay, but really young. I think I've had this. Yeah, we reviewed the Stranahan's Sherry Cask. That was pretty good. I have a Stranahan's cask strength pick here. That's good. Love the Founder's Reserve. I have that bottle. Also have a sample of a barrel pick from Whiskey-er that I really like. Okay, you know what's funny that you bring that up is that, so Whiskey-er is a channel that I just came across. And it's so funny, like, there's so many channels out there, and once you get into your algorithm, like, you start to get a lot of the same channels, which is good because they're channels you like to watch. And then I'll come across a channel, it's like, oh, I've never heard of this person before, and, like, they've got, like, 20,000 subs, and they've been around forever, and it's like, how the hell has this never come across my algorithm before? So, yeah, I've recently subscribed to Whiskey-er. Bourbon School. Brian is in the house. What's happening, brother? Man, I just don't know how to rank these. Ben, I'd be happy to send you a sample of the... dude, I would greatly appreciate that. 100%. I would love that. Because that's definitely like a... excuse me, to roll the dice on a $130 bottle that you've never had before. Yep, I'm subscribed to Bourbon Hunter as well. Andrew, send me an email at thebourbonnote@gmail.com. We'll exchange information. If I've got anything here you want to try, I'll send some samples to you too. We can do a little exchange. You can find me on Instagram too. It's at Mostly Bourbon or at the Bourbon Note. But yeah, just shoot me an email, bourbonnote@gmail.com, and we'll get that set up. So, all right. All I can say is I think the one on the right here. By the way, the sample that's next to the bottle is not the sample. These are all mixed up. I just have the bottles here so we know what's on the bar. So, okay, let me go through these one more time real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't know how this one still has so much left in it. Troy, what's happening? I was just talking about you a little bit ago. Trashing you relentlessly. No, I'm just kidding. I was talking about your Washington 20% liquor tax. I'm saying the one on the right is the Woodford, and it's really good. As the self-proclaimed Brown-Forman truffle pig, I hope I'm right on that. I'm going to put the one that I think is Woodford in first place. I'm going to put the one on the left here in second place. And then third place, last place. But all of these are damn good. There's no loser here at all. Dry month. Well, at least you picked February for a dry month. You picked the shortest month. All right, let's get to the reveal here. This one was last place. That's the ECBP B523. I'm gonna say I think this one on the left is the Larceny, and the one on the right is, like I said, the Woodford. I think. In third place is the Bookers. All right, I might have two of these right. Coming in first place is Woodford. And so, I wrote that. Oh, yeah, Larceny. Okay. I called it. I got two out of the two that I guessed on. I did get right, so I feel good about myself. Being the self-proclaimed Brown Foreman Truffle Pig, to get the Woodford Reserve picked out of the blind flight, I'm pretty happy about. So, yeah, I mean, the Bookers came in, what, third? Yeah, I think Bookers is good, and, you know, I don't know. It comes across more well-aged than I think its age statement would suggest. Yeah, the most expensive. I will say, though, all of these kind of have a little bit of a bite to them tonight. And I'm not going to lie, for whatever reason, I've got a little bit of dry mouth tonight. That is one thing that definitely kind of changes my palate when I'm tasting whiskey. If you've got like a little bit of cottonmouth. Speaking of cottonmouth, I did see OG Brick 420 was here earlier. So cheers to you. I meant to say hi. I'm sorry that I blew past you here. But I mean, cottonmouth for any reason. I'm not just talking about that. I can't. Well, there he is. Speaking of the devil. I can't wait for the Knob Creek 12 cast strength. Dude, I'm so excited about that. I hope that shows up in my area. I got this bottle given to me like 4 years ago now. And this is the first run of the Knob Creek cast strength 12 year. And there is, you can see just a little bit left, but this is excellent whiskey. Incidentally, the proof on it at cask strength is 120.5. So only 0.5 proof higher than the 9-year single barrels go. But yeah, at the 12 years, this thing is a monster. So I would definitely recommend when that comes out, depending on the price. I mean, hopefully it's around the 100, maybe 120. Let's see. Anyway, I was saying like when I have like a dry mouth for whatever reason, if I'm not well hydrated, whiskey just kind of has like a bite to it. So, all right, well, folks, everybody knows the rules here at the Bourbon Note. If I've got more than one whiskey on the bar, we got to do the blend. So let's get into it here. These were all really good. It's a bummer that Woodford doesn't sell their batch proof for less money. But at that point, you know, I think let me know in the comments. Okay, so here's a question I want to ask you guys. I've said this in a ton of my topic. Sorry, I froze up for a second here. Do you guys think that there is some flavor overlap between Old Forester and Woodford Reserve? Because I've always thought that both of them have a very similar profile, and it's unique to them, something that kind of sets them apart from other bourbons. Like usually if there's an Old Forester product or a Woodford product in a blind, most of the time I can pick it out. So I think that there's a lot of flavor overlap for them. So what I was getting at, you can get Old Forester single barrel proof for $100. You know, save yourself $20-$30 on the Woodford. Now, if Old Forester did a 1910 barrel proof, good Lord, that would be. The blend is excellent. I got to tell you, I like the blend. Hatfield Barbecue. Taylor agrees. Troy says very similar. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone in that because I've always thought. Let's see. I would have to say yes. It seems they all have Jack Daniel's element to them. You know what's funny is, like, incidentally, I don't always get that same kind of banana note off of Jack Daniel's that Jack Daniel's is known for, also being a Brown-Forman product. It's weird to me, like Jack Daniel's. Sometimes I get that, and sometimes I don't. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you, brother. With Jack Daniel's, it's like I'll get I had a bottle of the Jack Daniel's. It's gone, but it's the duty free only, the bottled and bond. I had a bottle of that and I liked it, but it didn't really remind me so much of the Brown-Forman profile. And then one night, like months later, I was drinking it again and it tasted just like Old Forester 100. So I think maybe it just has to kind of be, I don't know, maybe it's just the night, or maybe it's, I don't know. I guess it just depends on the evening for that. But sometimes I get that from Jack Daniel's, but I don't always. Like Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, I don't get much similarity from that to like an Old Forester Single Barrel Proof. So yeah, Jack Daniel's has always been kind of a interesting to me with that. Let's see. I wish the Woodford Barrel Proof rye wasn't $125. They had it for, well, let me look. I think they had it for $99, Dave, at the Burnsville Costco. I don't have that short posted yet, but I have it filmed on my phone here, so I can take a look and see if that's what it was. Well, where in the hell are those now? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had that for, I think it was like $100, and I was kind of on the fence about it, but I ended up picking up an Elijah Craig single barrel toasted barrel. I can't remember if I posted that one yet or not. I think I did. But yeah, so they did have one of those for considerably less than what you find them. Let me see here. Well, now I can't find the video, but yeah, they did have it for a decent price. So check out Costco at Burnsville if you, because you're in Apple Valley, so you're right over, right by there. So just had one of those Woodford 110 picks show up here. Probably will grab one this weekend. Brian, what's the price on it out there? Because I got mine for $60, and I saw it for $70 the other day. Let's see. Yes, $99. Yeah, so it is $100 at all the Costcos that Andrew has been to. Let's see. Watched your short on the Woodford Double Oak Barrel Strength, and I agree Ben Woodford is trying to pull the rug on us. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for $100, I was tempted to pick up the Woodford Barrel Proof Rye. Interestingly enough, I've never actually had Woodford's regular rye before. I don't think. I also need to pick up a bottle of Old Forester 100 proof rye. That just showed up back in Minnesota like a year ago or something like that. The JD single barrel proofs are monsters, and I love them. Yeah, couldn't agree more. That's one of the best. I mean, that's one of those ones where if you're not an enthusiast, like if you just love bourbon and you love cask strength bourbon, but you don't really care about trying a ton of bourbons, or you don't, get on the internet and yap about it and have a channel, that's one of those ones where it's like you can almost just stop right there because it's so good. The rye as well. Just $60. Yeah, Brian, I would pick one up for $60, 100%. The one that I have is pretty oaky and tannic, a little more than I would have probably guessed from a Woodford product. Seeing that I don't know the age on it, at least I don't think I do. But yeah, it's good for $60. Absolutely. I mean, it's like one of the one times that Woodford Reserve doesn't try to screw you on the price. That and the standard double oak. So yeah, I would recommend it. I would definitely be interested in seeing you guys do a review of that for sure. Go subscribe to Bourbon School and Whiskey Wars / Mash and Metal. 24 watching, only 13 likes. Hit the like button or Canada will invade. Well, we don't want any of that sort of heat, so hit that like button. Let's see. Christian, sorry, this just moved. Let's see. Christian Mojica? 1635, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome to the chat. I really enjoy the Old Forester 100 proof rye. It's an excellent mixer and a great beginner rye whiskey. They can get a little harsh since they are younger, but overall it's worth the price. 100%. I've had it before. I just don't own a bottle. I imagine that would make a monster old-fashioned. Ryan Frank is in the house. Holy shit. I feel like we've met new stages in... Let's see. Holy shit. I feel like we've met new stages in like it's been so damn long since we've exchanged brotherhood hellos. Yes, that makes sense. I get it. Welcome, Ryan Frank. It's also been way too long since we've hung out in person, brother. So we definitely gotta hang out sometime soon. So one of the things that by the way, everyone, here's some news about me and the channel. I have officially become a whore. So that's exciting. No, I do have a video coming out. This can be a bonus video, it's not going to be in place of a regular Monday or Thursday release. But I did get sent a product from a company for the purpose of a review that I agreed to do. And it's a clear ice ball maker. And you'll see in the video, I'm going to probably put it out this week, that I've been approached from other companies to, review products or whatever. And I haven't done any of them, but this one is like whiskey related. It's something I'm interested in. It's something I definitely would have been interested in purchasing. And it's something that if I had bought on my own, I definitely would have reviewed it on the channel. Turns out it works really well. And so I say in the video, one of the reasons that I don't make old fashions more often is because my ice is just terrible. It's like pure white and it just melts right away. This thing actually does make really good clear ice balls. And so I've been experimenting with doing different old fashions ever since I got this thing. And man, I have been on an old fashioned tear. And so two things. One thing is, I said in my review of the Old Forester 1910, if you do that with a little bit of cherry juice in the mix, it's really good. So that's really good. But the barrel proof old fashioned has completely changed my cocktail game. So I made a couple of old fashions out of Benchmark Full Proof because I figured it's 125 proof, but it's also like $23. I'm not going to put an $80 Elijah Craig in an old fashioned, but the barrel proof old fashioned, holy shit, it's so good. And I make mine with like a couple ounces of bourbon, a little simple syrup, but I put the cocktail cherries in there, and I do add the little spoonful of cherry juice. And man, I got to tell you, it's just so damn good. So if you have not tried a barrel proof old fashioned, 100% recommend. Let's see here. Oh, being part of ICE is cool. just not as cool as actual whoring. I see what you did there, buddy. Nice, but will it fit into your potato gun? Well, which part? I mean, will the ice balls? Probably not. They're not potato size. Any walnut trees around? Green walnuts make the best ammo. We're on potato guns now somehow. Okay. Sounds like a shotgun. Make sure you are careful. Did I miss something here? What are we... All right, we're on potato guns. I mean, that's the nature of the chat here, which is awesome. So, anyway, folks, all right, like, do you have those stone ice cubes? If so, please elaborate on the purpose of them. Let's see. To us less knowledgeable peeps. Okay, so I don't have any of those whiskey stones, but I have used them, and I've never really heard a good review of them. So the purpose of them is, the idea is you freeze them and they get cold like ice, but they don't melt. So you can get your drink cold, but they don't water your drink down, is the purpose of them. But I have never really heard good reviews of them. Actually, I think Bourbon School, they did a video. I don't think it was this Christmas. Maybe it was the one before. Brian, you can correct me on that. About like whiskey gifts and stuff. I think you guys mentioned those in that they're just not, they just don't work. Then you have to hit it with the cocktail smoker. Yeah, I do have one of those, Brian, for sure. I use my daughter's snack Tupperwares to make clear ice cubes. I put spring water in them, and they get perfect cubes every time. Interesting. Whiskey Stones are trash. Whiskey Stone stuck. The stainless steel cubes are much better. I did see on an episode of the Whiskey Vault a long time ago that they talked about what to do if your ice melts, because they're like, it sucks. You put ice in a cocktail because you want your cocktail cold, but then the ice melts. And they suggested put your ice in there, swirl it around, let it get a little bit cold, and then just scoop the ice out. So you could do that. The other thing is to just, if you have a particular whiskey that you like to make old fashions with, keep that whiskey in the fridge or the freezer and just keep it cold. Now, I don't like cold whiskey neat, but I do like it in an old fashioned. So, all right, folks, we have reached the end of the live stream here. I think I'm going to hang it up for the night. Thank you guys so much for participating. To all the new subscribers, thank you so much for that. The channel's been getting boosted a little bit, so that's good. I'm happy to see all the new names in the chat and stuff. So, yeah, remember to subscribe to all the channels that were in here tonight. Bourbon School, Bourbon Drop, Whiskey Wars, Mash and Metal, Andrew's Allocations, MN. Who else did we have in here? I apologize. Troy was in here from Baker Drinks, but they're hanging up the channel here pretty soon. But go give them a sub anyway, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. But yeah, go check out all these great channels that were in the chat tonight. So, all right, folks. Well, you guys all have a great night. Look out for. I did just post. Actually, during this live stream, I posted a bonus video for tonight, which was the how I ruined my bottle of Old Grandad 16-year. Tomorrow is going to be top 5 bourbons that I have on my shelf that I like, but I will not buy again. Love you too, brother, Ryan Frank. And then look for that on Patreon early tonight too. And if you guys are interested in the Patreon. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Before I leave, I do have to do the Patreon drawing. Let's do that real quick. I only have 3 people left that haven't won yet. Let me just get this booted up real quick here. Okay. So, share screen. Okay. Okay, so here's how this has been working. So with all my Patreon subscribers, I've been doing a thing for the last handful of months where once you win, you get removed from the wheel. So everybody gets a chance to win. Once we're done and we've gone through the whole wheel, then I'll start a new thing, and then it's kind of anybody's game. Or we'll do like, I'm thinking about bringing Whiskey Trivia Night in America back. We'll incorporate the winners into that. Canadian Chris is already saying rigged. I love it. That's a little spillover from the Baker Drinks live streams, and I love that. So here's how this is going to work. Whoever wins tonight, I'll put together another sample pack, and if by the next time I do a live stream we don't have any new subscribers and there's only 2 left, I'll just send a sample pack out to both of them. So let's get into who wins the sample pack for tonight. I don't have what I'm going to put in this sample pack, but whoever wins, I'll send you a message on Patreon, let you know what it's going to be. Let's get into it. Jeremiah Gramberg, I think he did comment on the last one just a couple days ago, maybe someday. Well, there you go, brother. So, Jeremiah, if you're still in the chat, send me your contact and email, or not email, your address information where you want me to send this to the Bourbon Note email at thebourbonnote@gmail.com. So, and if you don't see this, if I don't hear from you on the email, I'll send you a message on Patreon. Ryan Frank says, I'm off until late March. I can help you see to it that the bottom of some of those bottles whisper a faint memory of the evening. Let's do that, man. Let's get together one of these nights. Let's do it for sure. Oh, Jeremiah is here. All right. So send me your information, Jeremiah, at thebourbonnote@gmail.com, and I'll put together a sample pack to get out to you here. So anyway, folks, let me get the outro video set here. provided it's even uploaded. Let me see. All right. So this has been a fun one. Again, I'll try to get a little more regular on doing live streams on Wednesdays, especially if you guys are going to show up like you did tonight. So I really appreciate it. So yeah, check out the bonus video tonight. Check out the video tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers, everybody.